Good evening, welcome all of you. Here we are to discuss on one needs education. So the topic of discussion is on education. Basic thing is one needs education. Education is a must. Without education, no formal development will be possible. Sometimes a time was there, there was not that much need of education in one moment when there was no that much spreading. People were staying within confines within their limitations. But thing is that everything has been changed. The ideology is changed, ideography is changed, that mission is changed, vision is changed, path is changed. So education has been the major part of the life right now. So whatever you do, wherever you go, you can find education is the basic part of life. Here, mother course one needs education. Here we will have a brief discussion on education. Mother course. You think that you are sent to school, that you are made to do exercises, all just for the pleasure of vexing you. Most of the time, what really we do for education, normally we go to school. Our parents or even sent our parents sent us to school, or we are sending our children or grandchildren to the school. So normally the activities there are conducted like exercise, like learning the lessons, mental exercise, physical exercise, and vital exercise. Mostly these things are being done. So mother course for these two only you are going like to do exercises, and second is just for the pleasure of vexing you. For that actually your parents are sending you to school. Oh, not mother course, definitely no. Then what is the purpose? Why you are being sent to school? A lot of time is spent, a lot of labor is spent, a lot of things is being done. A lot of money is also being exercised in so many ways. Day and night you keep laboring. At least up to a specified age, normal education means that is what you are being carried away. It is because it's dispensable for you, indispensable for you to have a frame in which you can learn how to form yourself. So just you imagine you have been, there is a form. With the form you have taken birth. Your child has taken birth, even birth, even your grandchild, maybe your father, your parents, grandparents. Many ways they have been formed in a with a particular form. But the thing is that here you have to make your form, remake your form, reshape it. That is the purpose for which you are being sent to school. But I'll try to quote it again. It's indispensable for you to have a frame, to indispensable for you to have a frame in which you can learn how to form yourself. So simply just I can give one example. Suppose somebody is making a pot, clay pot. For that also he is taking some training. After the training only he is able to shape up the picture or that pot, or you want to reshape it. That training is necessary. So with the form actually you have been created, your children has been created, your parents were created. But thing is that it is indispensable for you to learn how to reshape it, to shape it into little formats. So whatever is there, you have to, everything you will try to better it. That is what. And when you feel satisfied, the next step is death. You are moving towards the grave. So every time, everything you try to better it. That is what the education gives you, a chance to learning, and learning more and more, to know how to reshape your activities, your inner ideology, inner beings in a greater stage. It is theirs. The thing is that you have to make it more and a clear in a vigilant way, how to better it. Again, mother course. If you did your work of individualization, that's what. did your work of individualization, building up the individualization of total formation by yourself, all alone in a corner, nothing at all would be asked to you. If you are that is that egoistic, separative attitude, you are making everything of your own in a corner. There is nothing, nothing is required for you. So, the mother quote again. I will try to quote it before you. If you did your works of individualization, total formation, individualization number one. Second is total formation of your own by yourself, all alone in a corner. Nothing at all would be asked to you. But you don't do it. You would not do it. There is not a single child who would do it without even how to knowing, without even know how to do it. He can't do it. Suppose somebody can do everything of his own, then not necessary to come out. He can be isolated, he can stay in a corner, he can do everything of his own. But mother courts, definitely it is not possible for him. So if some farmer is there, he knows how the manner of farming, he is trained to grow crops and all. But thing is, how can he go for the technical aspects, technology and all? How can he go to have a TV of his own? Whatever idea he's having, he may be, even if he's a technocrat, he's very much proficient, efficient in that business, he can go only one thing. But in the entire thing, you are using numberless articles in your life and you can do it. For that, actually, you needs the formation, the reshaping, and you want to do it of your in a entire, with entirety, with a group. We are to begin. If a child were not to taught how to live, that's what, how to live, that must be taught by the child. He would not live, he would not know how to do everything and anything, because he has to learn, he has to know, he has to get the concept, he has to go through the idea that it can be done, and he is do he can how to do anything and anything. And if everyone had to go through the whole experience needed for the formation of individuality, he would be long dead before having begun to live. Suppose everything everybody should know in his lifetime, then this lifetime is not at all essential, not sufficient. He, at least he will die, even death will come maybe before time, and he will not be able to know how to go, how to move, and how to do it. So mother then quotes again, this is the advantage of the of those accumulated through centuries, who have had the experience and tell you. Many of the things are there. Suppose somebody will be a master in specific faculty, and another will another, somebody in another, and another will be in another. So you can carry in a group, in a class, you can learn lot of things within a single specified time. But if he is interested to know everything of his own without taking the assistance of others, without being trained properly, so it needs lives, and even lives will be spent, lives will be over. He will not be ready to know it. Then we who had the experience and tell you, well, if you want to go quickly to know in a few years what has been learned through centuries, do this, because he is the specified, he is the man, he knows the format. He will advise you. If you want to go quickly, if you want to know in a few years what has been learned through centuries, then do this. That is what the thing he can, because he is having experience. He is learned. He has actually gone a long way through this type of experience. So read, learn, study, mother course. Read, learn, read first, then learn, then study, go deep within. Then in the material field, you will be taught to do this in this way. So for that only three things you must do. Initially you have to read. That is the advice already. It was advised, if you want to do, then you do this way, like this. Read, learn, and study. Then in the material field, you will be taught to do this in this way, in that way, and this again in the in this way. So, because they are experienced, they can teach you. Even whatever is needed to learn in centuries, you can learn within maybe a couple of days or a couple of hours, because it is that depends upon your technical ability, how you are prepared and how much you have done. Once you know a little, mother course, once you know a little, you can find your own method. Without knowing, how can you go? Suppose somebody is, you are going for the guidance to a professor or a scientist for guidance. He is giving you a clue, just as a very thread he is giving in your hand. And once you know this, you have to move that way. This is the process, this is the route, this is the method you will go. And maybe within every day or within one limited span of interval, within an interval, he will be further guiding you because he is having some experience. And with this experience, you will be proceeding like anything. So it is required. If you have the genius for it, you can go, you can find your own method. But the first one must stand on one's own feet and know how to work. Everybody which will come, you tell that is possible, you can work because everybody has worked. Most of, almost everybody, they have worked. But how you can work? First, you have to make up your mind that I have to work. Then work means I have to make a stand. Initially, you will learn how to stand. Once you make a stand, then you will know the second step. You will go for the second step, the method of working. Then you will be following also number of ways. That is also possible. And within this following, you will be learning the technique. And with this technique, you will be moving forward. That is what the system. And you know how to work. It is very difficult to learn it all alone. If you want to, I will stay in a corner, I will learn everything of my own. Then what for this? These are there. So technical people are there, experts are there, they are turning, they are taking, they are teaching, they are guiding, they are actually guiding you to the goal in a very polished way. That is what being done. If you are to learn all alone, it is very difficult to reach you. Wherever you go, wherever you stand, which way you are moving, all is a doubtful way. Even you know the lords, even Ramakrishna and all, they were coming, they were also going through the natural process of teaching, learning. They were also attending the classes. Education was necessary for them. Then it's like that for everyone, not for one or two. It is the process. Sometimes you find some exceptional people are coming. 3 years child, when you just start talking about the papa, mama, or something like this, then they will be chanting Gitas, you even Qurans, Bibles, like anything. That is exceptional, but it does not last. After some time, it collapses. So they also need some teaching. It is like for that everyone. One must form oneself, therefore one needs education. To form oneself, to to build up in oneself, to create in oneself, you need basically the education. And Sri Aurobindo is having a nice observation on this part of education. Here in the course, all knowledge is within, and that has to be evoked by education rather than installed from outside. Most of the time, we import. We claim we are teaching. We claim we are learning. We are following such and such route. But here in the course here, that all knowledge is within and has to be evoked by education. Evoked by education only, not being installed from outside. So things are there. Nothing can be taught, all is within. That's our mother quote. But thing is that you must have a aim. That aim will guide you. Without aim, really, without aim, life is miserable. You must have fixed aim and you will go. That is what the required condition. Even a highest and completest education of the mind is not enough without the education of the body. So, with the body, we are going for physical education. For the mind, we are going for mental education. With the vital life forces, we are going for the vital education. And with the psychic, we are going for the psychic education. Here in the course, psychic should be the beginning of our education. And spiritual education, you have to know. So, these are the method. These are the way we are learning. So, my mental education, however highest and completest education may be, it is incomplete without the education of the body, physical. It is the base. This is necessary. Again, mother course, a new center of thought implies a new center of education. Suppose you are in a very limited and specific point, so you are thinking of learning the base, the graduation, the basics. But once you want to move up, this is the base, this is the beginning. If you lift this, elevate this center of education, then another center of thought will come. Mother share in the course, a new center of thought. If that center, that thought whose center is elevated, it is coming to the newness. It is actually to the second step, and next steps we are moving. Then it implies a new sector of education. In the beginning, you learn something. You are with that. You are actually applying your brain. You are doing something. Suppose if you are elevated, that your thought is elevated, your thought is accelerated, your thought is moving up, then that the center of thought implies a new center of education. Again, we find something like we'll gather some information, and with this education, we will try to proceed and do everything of our own. Mostly in the course, information can't be the foundation of intelligence. And of course, intelligence, it is born from ignorance. Information, whatever has been written, somebody has written, somebody has given some instruction, information. With that, actually, we are moving forward. So here in the course here, that information can't be the foundation of intelligence. That is what the basic thing you must know. And later we will go very one or two lines will go. Higher your aspiration, higher your realization. So you must aspire, not desire. You must aspire like anything. That higher your aspiration, higher your realization. The best thing, the keep your higher aim. If you want to be big or dream big, naturally that will be helpful. Aim to find, to become, to manifest the divine. What is this aim? Most of the time, not most of the time, almost every time, this aim and objective it changes. But think, because these are also fixed by the mind, mental conception, mental perception, mental ideas. That's what, for that actually you are suffering. But the thing is that the aim is to find the divine, to become the divine, and to manifest the divine. Because so far this integral yoga and sadhana process is coming, divine is all for him. Divine is the beginning, divine is the middle, divine is the goal. Without the divine, nothing can be done. So if this aimless life is a miserable life, what is the aim? Being doctors and engineers, this is the formally we have fixed like these are our goals. But when for that actually we are facing illusions in our life. That study we have fixed, maybe or may not be satisfied. Even if it is satisfied, then that job, then your marriage, then your children, and all. Many ways you suffer, many ways you come to the disadvantage, and then you get harassed. But when you fix up the divine is goal, and nothing is there, for that only you aspire for the divine help and to go for the divine manifestation. And when you then you will find the right path at the right time with the right help, and the right mentality will come, and the right guidance will come. With that only you will reach the right, at the right time you will reach the right divine. Thank you.